Welcome, everyone. Good boy, Tucker. This is learning at its most fun.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on another Thursday webinar. My name is Curtis. I'm one of the trainers here at Redtail. And today I'm going to be taking you through our Redtail essentials of Manage Your Account. So the Manage Your Account is what we're really going to be talking about, is sort of working and setting things up on the back end of the system. So we're not really going to be talking about managing the contact records or like activities or notes, things like that. We're going to be talking about the information you can set up to help report on that type of information later, or as well as like things like preferences or templates, to setting those up and where that information exists. So what we're going to do is I'm going to slide on over to the CRM, and we're going to be using in the top right hand corner, when I click on my name, I can go down to Manage Your Account. So this is actually the page, again, your name in the top right, and then Manage Your Account is where we're going to be focusing today. So I'm going to click on that, and what you'll notice is it takes me to this page to where I have these five separate boxes. So I have preferences, I have email management, templates, I got files, as well as an admins only section. So we're going to briefly go down this list in today's webinar and just explain what all of these different sections are. So to start off, let's actually start at the top of the list. And so again, from this page, anywhere in the database, you can go to your name in the top right-hand corner, select Manage Your Account. What I also want to point out is I can also go to Preferences. So some of the items on this Manage Your Account page are also accessible from the drop-down menu in the top right. So for instance, where I have preferences and I can click on the very first option of Change Site Preferences, I don't have to go through Manage Your Account. I can always just go into the top right-hand corner and select Preferences to get to this page. Now, what's unique about the Preferences page is this is actually only affecting things that affect your own username. So if I change any of these drop-down items, like for instance, the default login screen, if I don't want to go to the Today page, I maybe want to go to the calendar or maybe the opportunities dashboard, I can make that change. So every time I log in, it will go there. Now, this where it says, because I'm in the preferences, it's only going to affect my username. So if another user in my database logs in, they can go to their own default page. Same thing in regards to time zone, what your default contact screen is. There's even things about how when you create an activity, what the defaults are for that. As I scroll farther down, you're going to see there's items in regards to calendar management. Anything you change on the calendar management section is specifically going to be affecting anytime you click on calendar on the left-hand side. So depending on what I want the default view to be, what I want the default start and end times to be as well as if I scroll down, you'll see I can turn on or off different things on the contact record. So if I'm on a contact record, do I want to show or hide the social security number? When I click on the documents view in a contact, where do I want to go to? The CRM's imaging, the CRM document storage, or the imaging option itself? You'll notice there's so many options in this preferences section, as well as if I scroll down even further, I have notification options that all default to yes when you originally go to them. But if I don't want to get emails about updated or assigned activities, I can turn those off, as well as with my notifications with workflows. So really what I want to point out about this page that we're on and that we started with, the preferences page, is I highly suggest, if you have not done so, go to your name in the top right-hand corner, click on preferences, and scroll through this page to see what you may or may not want to change about the defaults in your database for your username. All right, so again, that's the first section of Manage Your Account. When we go back to our name and Manage Your Account under the Change Site Preferences. Another option that is also accessible from the dropdown in your top right is where it says Manage Integrations. So again, I can click right here, or I can go to my name and click Manage Your Integrations. Either one will take me to the same place. And this is where you can turn on or off, enable or disable different integrations in your database. Now, things that are changed here will actually affect the whole database. So if you turn off an integration, it'll turn it off for everybody in your database. Now, even though I'm on the enabled page and I see there's quite a few things turned on or off here, What I want to point out is just because it's on the enabled list for your integrations does not mean it's currently actively working. What the enabled versus disabled pages are talking about is what's going to be in your view. And the view is going to be in the integrations icon in the top right-hand corner. So this, along with these other icons, is always in the top right-hand corner, anywhere in the database you are, and it's going to show you the available integrations that are there. So for instance, if I am not using DocuPaste and I don't want to see it on my integrations, when I click on the integrations tab here, or eMoney or any one of these items, you can actually go down, find that integration, and choose to actually just actually flip it off. And so where you can say, hey, this is now going to be off. So you can flip it on or off depending on whether or not you want to see it in the integrations menu up here. What you'll notice is if I refresh this page and if I go back to the integrations, you're going to see that DocuPaste is no longer available there. So that's really going to come up if you're saying, hey, I always see these integrations. I don't use all of them. I don't want to see them. Then in that case, what you're going to do, you can go to your name, back to manage your integrations, and choose what you want to see on that actual drop-down menu. All right, let's go back to our name and back to manager account again. We'll be doing this quite a few times in this webinar, but you'll also see we have the option to manage team notices. Also manage web links. These two things are actually quite underutilized. What a team notice is essentially like a bulletin board. If I click on manage team notices, I can choose to add a new team notice in the top right where I title it and put a message here. The team notices will actually rotate through on your main today screen to see what those actual messages are. So as an example, again, if I go to the today page and if I scroll down here, I see the team notices box. When I hover over it, it's going to stay on the notice that I'm on. But if I move my mouse that I'm not over the top, you'll notice that every few, I think it's 15 seconds, it's going to rotate through those different team notices that you have. So again, think of it like a bulletin board where you can put up different things that maybe aren't necessarily important for everybody to know, but you definitely want to make sure that everybody has it available to see. All right, so again, that's in your name in the top right, and then manage your account, and you see the manage team notices. Next up is going to be the manage web links. Now, web links are essentially just the same thing as bookmarks in your browser. So very similar to if you set up different bookmarks, like, hey, I want to bookmark Redtail technology, and so I don't have to type it in every single time. You can actually set up different links that you actively go to on a regular basis. But the benefit here with the web links is these are shared amongst everybody in the database. So if you have new people logging in or new employees or actually just previous employees or any employee itself that, hey, you want to say, here's all the different places that we log in, you can essentially create those bookmarks in Redtail. Same situation, once you're on the page, you just hit new in the top right-hand corner. You put the name and then you put the link of where you want it to go. How those are accessed is anybody can do this by when you're anywhere in the database and you go to your name, you'll see that I have web links right in this dropdown. And so I can click on that and then I can click, hey, I'm going to go to the Albridge site or I'm going to go to Apple. This page is going to be the same for all of the users in your database. So again, if you want to use bookmarks just like browsers have them, you definitely can continue doing so. But if you want to make sure that everybody in your team has those same links available, that's definitely a tool that might be beneficial. Now let's go back to our name and manage our account one more time, or actually not one more time. We'll do this a few more times. And then we're going to go down to the section where it says email management. Now, email management is specific to sending broadcast emails inside Redtail. What a broadcast email is I can select a group of contact records and send a broadcast email, and it'll send out an individual email to all of those contacts to their actual primary email. When I'm in the manager account section, I have this area where I can go to manage the broadcast emails. Once I select that, you'll see if there are any currently sending out, it'll show them listed here in the queued section. I can also click over on completed and see all of the past broadcast emails that I've sent out to my database, as well as how many contacts they went to, how many succeeded, and if any failed. You can actually further manage this and go into the email that you sent, see what the email was, see which contact records and which email address it went to, as well as scroll down to see which email addresses it failed to. It'll even give you the little error saying this is what happened. Well, these 5 contacts didn't get an email because there was no primary email address in their contact record. So everything will be listed and you know who got the emails, who didn't. If I need to resend something or maybe mail out to them from this section, I can even just hit search, and then I can then get more information from just the contacts who didn't get their original email. So you have a lot of control over managing the broadcast emails from your name, and then manage your account, and then accessing the manage broadcast email section. Below that, under manage your account, we also have the manage template section. So throughout the database, there's a lot of different places where you can create a template and have that template be available for everyone to use. As an example, maybe we want to create note templates. And so if I open up my note templates, I can then choose new in the top right-hand corner. I have the ability to name the template, and then I can fill out what I want that template to be. So if it is a note, I can fill out what I want the body of the note to be filled out, if I want the category to be automatically selected, if I want to check the box or create follow-up activity or notify a user or team. What I always like to say about templates, and this is true for all templates, whether it's notes, workflow templates, activity templates, they're always just a starting off point. So just because the template fills out the information doesn't mean you're stuck with that. So as an example, I already have one that's set up for client review meeting notes. And again, this is a template. If I open up the template, I can see that it's going to fill out these 6 questions and also give me a space for additional notes. It's also going to select the category of client review notes and check the box for it to create a follow-up meeting. Now, how that actually comes into play is if I go back to the today page, anytime I want to use that note template, I first have to make a note. So if I go to the plus sign in the top right-hand corner, then choose notes, the very first item I'm going to get is create without a template, but I can choose my available templates like the client review meeting notes, and it fills it out for me. Now I can then just fill out this actual note with the remaining information. I can change anything I want to, override the template, and then when I'm done, I can hit save. So again, the templates are really beneficial to have consistency when adding notes, when adding activities, and especially for when creating workflows. Now, there's a lot of information that we do have that's available for what kind of templates you might want to make, because I do fully understand maybe it's great to start with a blank slate, but sometimes it's a little too much to start with a blank slate. So if you're saying, hey, I would love to get some ideas of templates that I can build in my own database, what I'm going to suggest is that you go to the question mark in the top right-hand corner and then click the icon for Redtail Help Desk. Once you're here in the search of the Redtail Help Desk, you can just type in sample templates. And when you search on that, you're actually going to see an item that says Redtail sample templates. And this is where we have examples of all those different types. So activity, automation, mail merge templates, note templates, and even workflow templates. So I definitely suggest if you're curious about starting and creating new templates and you want some ideas, go to our help desk, search Redtail sample templates, and take a look at those options. All right, we're gonna go back to the CRM again. And now we're gonna go back to our name in the top right-hand corner and back to manage your account. And once we scroll past the manage template section, you're gonna notice that we have a section for manage files. And this is specifically for downloads. Now, the downloads can happen when you maybe do a large list of contacts and sending to an export or a PDF. But you might get a pop-up that says, hey, this actual file is going to be located in your downloads folder when it's ready. Okay, so what that is, when I click on downloads, it's going to show me any document or export or report that I ran that was too large to run right away. And it's going to store it here, and I can open it up anytime. You don't necessarily need to go in and remove anything, but you can if you want to delete it. But you don't have to worry about any storage capacities for this. It will actually store as many downloads here as you want. Now, again, if you're curious about how does something get here, what normally happens is if you go to the contacts page, and I'm just going to pull up my contacts A to Z. And let's say, for instance, that I selected all of the A clients, and then I went to contact options, and I chose to run an export. Now, if my settings are saying, hey, if I click on default settings, if there's too many contacts selected, it'll give me a pop-up at this point saying, hey, this is going to run in the background. When it's available, you'll get an email and you'll see it in the manage download section. But if it's normally like a smaller group of clients, you'll get that download right away and it won't go to the manage download section. Okay, so really you only need to worry about the manage download section if you get a pop-up that tells you something is waiting there. So again, it's not something you have to actively be checking on a daily basis, only if you get a pop-up saying this will be in your manage download section. And again, you can go to your name in the top right, and this one actually has a link right here to manage your download. So you don't have to go through manage your account. You can go straight to this option. But again, it's also available by clicking manage your account and scrolling down to the manage files and clicking on downloads there. Now, the last box that I want to talk about on the manage your account page is specific to whether or not your username has admin rights. Now, if you do go to manage your account and you see the box that says admins only, that means that you are an admin and you have the ability to change other things in this dropdown. If you do not see the box, if your last item says manage files, all that means is you are a user, but you do not have access to change things like the database lists or the users and teams. If you have users that you want to give admin rights to or take admin rights away from, what you're going to do is, if you are an admin user, go to the admins only section, and we're going to start with the third item down that says manage database users and teams. Once you're there, you can find the user that you want to change. So we'll choose this first one, choose the action icon, and I can say edit user info. Once I choose that option, I can see I can change their email, I can change their name, or I can check or uncheck the box for whether or not that user has admin access. Okay, so keep in mind, again, if you want to add or remove the ability for a user to change things in the admins only section, then you have to change it here under manage database users and teams. So again, once I go back to my name and manage your account and scroll back down to the bottom, you're going to see I have other items. So we're going to talk about, let's first talk about database backup. So if you are an admin, you have the ability to back up the database. When you go to database backups, all you have to do is just hit request database backups. And when it's available, which normally goes pretty quick, you'll be able to click on it and download that backup. Now, this is normally when people say, oh, hey, this is great. I want to create a database backup every single day. You do not actually need to do a backup every single day. That is something that's going to happen automatically that we do for you. So every night we back up every single database that's on our system. You are only going to need to run a database backup if you need to take the information elsewhere. Okay, so if you are leaving Redtail, maybe going to another CRM, or you're adding your contacts to another platform in some way, and you need to get all of their information, including their notes, their activities, everything you've put into the contact record, that's when you would run a database backup. And then you can download it. It's a zip file. And then as long as there's another program that works with SQL, like other CRMs, you can import that into that program itself. Okay, so keep in mind, you can run a backup if you want, but you do not need to, because we do that for you and can provide that information to you at any time. All right, next thing I'm going to do, go back to manage your account. You might have guessed, since that's the name of our webinar today. And I want to talk about the manage database list section. So this is the very last item that we have on our manager account. But you'll notice that manage database lists and membership options, which I haven't mentioned yet, I'm going to tell you a secret, is those links actually sort of go to the same page. So if I click on manage database lists, it's going to take me to where I have all the different drop-down menus in Redtail on the right-hand side, where I can actually change those drop-down items. The reason I say the membership options takes you to the same place is it takes you to the same page, but what it actually does is it'll take you to the section under contacts that says membership code. So it takes me directly here. So again, either way, when you go to your name and manage your account and you scroll down to the bottom, you can get to manage database lists or membership options. Either link works. You can see on the right-hand side, I can then switch to any of these different drop-down items. Now, if you're unfamiliar and saying, I've never changed the database lists, I'm not sure what to do here, keep in mind, these are going to be things, anything you change here will affect everything in your database. So it'll affect all the other users. It's not a user-specific preference. This is actually talking about the structure of your database in regards to your drop-down lists. So for an example, you might use the field of contact status. You'll see that that dropdown exists. And if you want to change what's available in that dropdown, whereas right now, here's my list. If I want to add to it, I can hit the add button in the top right-hand corner, add whatever I want. If I want to remove from this list, I can use the action icon, edit the name, or even delete that from my list. But again, these are all going to be drop-down items. So just to show you where the contact status list exists, I'm going to use my recently viewed and go to Philip Bank. So we're actually going to go to a contact record. And you'll see when I scroll down to the contact details, I can hit edit, and then I can change the status of this contact. This is the exact same list we were just looking at. So if you're saying, I want to change the values in this dropdown, what you're going to do, again, is go to your name in the top right-hand corner, go to manage your account. Once you're there, scroll down to the bottom, and you can go to manage database lists. Once you're on the page, you just locate the list that you want to change on the right-hand side, and then you can update it however you prefer. All right, so that's a lot of quick information. I mean, the manager account page isn't really that large, even though it looks a little intimidating. But if you do have any questions at this point, go ahead and type them into the Q&A section, and I can answer those for you right now. So again, if you do have any questions in regards to what we've covered today, anything on the manager account page, go ahead and type that into the Q&A section, and I can answer that for you now. While we're waiting for any questions coming through, if you do have any just other general questions that you would like to get answers to, you can always email our support team at support@redtailtechnology.com, or even give us a call at 1-800-206-5030, option 3 for support. All right, we had a question come through. Let me open this up and pull it in. All right, so a question came in, is asking about reports, which is a little off topic what we're going over today. So saying in the report columns, how do we edit the columns of the data that shows up? What you're talking about, and I don't want to get too far off topic, but when you're on the contacts page or any of the columns, things like this, where they have these different columns, these can't be changed other than what's available in the option here, where you can choose to view something. Now, again, like even though the database list can affect what the values are, viewing the actual columns and things like that cannot be changed on this page. Most of reports are going to be controlled by when you export to an Excel spreadsheet. You can choose what columns you want to see from there. And another question came about, can you email this recording? Actually, all of our webinars are recorded. Every Thursday webinar, we do record and we post. If you want to view the recorded webinars, we normally post them about a week after they're done. You can go to the question mark in the top right-hand corner, then select Redtail Help Desk. Once you're here, there's the section that just says Redtail Training. And once you click that, you'll see the live recorded webinars, and all the past ones get recorded right here. For instance, last year's manager account is also on this page and will be updated with this manager account one. But if you wanted to rewatch this information right now, if you're on this page, you can click see all, and you can actually, if you normally, since it's last year's, if I go to the very second page, I can find Redtail Essentials manager account, and this is last year's webinar that we did. This one will be updated with this year's, but again, everything is recorded and can always be found in our webinars page. All right, we do have another question that is talking about managing the contacts in regards to like keywords and tags. It's a little off topic because again, we are only talking about the manager account section in today's webinar. But you can definitely reach out to our support team at 1-800-206-5030, and somebody can walk you through that on how to update things in bulk. But again, or you can even just send us an email and we can send you that information as well. All right, if there are any other questions in regards to today's topic of manager account, feel free and type those into the Q&A section and I can answer those for you. All right, I'm gonna wait just about another minute or so, but again, thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any other questions, feel free and reach out to our support team at 1-800 1-800-206-5030, option 3 for support, or you can send us an email to support@redtailtechnology.com. All right, a question just came in. Do we have a list of examples for categories? Yes, we definitely do. So if you are, when you're managing those database lists, things like that, what you can do is if you go back again to the help desk, so the question mark in the top right, click on Redtail Help Desk. From here, what I want you to type in is just the 2 words, style guide. And you could hit enter on the search, and it brings up this idea of what we call the style guide. Now, this talks about the statuses, the categories, things like that. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of this page that talks about all the database lists that you can manage, you can actually download our sample database list right here. It's a PDF, and it'll give you examples of what you may or may not want to put in those actual options. Question came in, if you like a sample template that Redtail has created, can it be copied and pasted into a template that IAM created? So most of those templates on the sample templates are things where you just have to go in and type them out. So if you copy them off ours, you can definitely put them in. The only thing that we can copy in regards to a template is going to be the workflow templates. So if you did want those workflow template examples, you can actually just send an email to training@redtailtechnology.com or even support@redtailtechnology.com and ask for the Redtail University workflows, and we can copy those in for you. I did get a question that's asking about the updates to Speak. If you do have specific questions, feel free and reach out to our support team, and they can answer anything in regards to Speak today. All right, so thank you so much, everybody, for coming to our Thursday webinar. One last time, if you do have any questions, feel free and reach out to our support team at 1-800-206-5030, option 3 for support. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for joining.
Thanks so much for joining us today for this particular session. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call at 800-206-5030, option 3 for support, or just shoot us an email over to support@redtailtechnology.com. Thanks a lot and have a great day.